On World News Tonight this Sunday, Hillary Rodham Clinton speaks out about her husband's infidelity and why she stood by her man. In the wake of the Atlanta shootings, mourning the dead and new calls for gun control. And behind bars, America's prisons, housing the mentally ill and unprepared to do so.
From ABC, this is World News Tonight, Sunday.
Good evening. I'm Carol Simpson. They are long-awaited words from the First Lady, and they come in the middle of her listening tour in New York as she campaigns for a likely run for the Senate. In an interview in the new magazine Talk, she answers many of the questions that Americans have been wondering about since the Monica Lewinsky scandal first broke. We begin with ABC's Carla Davis.
When the president and daughter Chelsea attended church today, the First Lady was not seen. But in an interview with Talk magazine to be published this week, she called her husband's infidelity a weakness caused by childhood abuse. Mrs. Clinton says he was so young, barely 4, when he was scarred by abuse. There was terrible conflict between his mother and grandmother. Mr. Clinton's grandmother helped raise him while his mother attended nursing school. The First Lady indicated that he was torn between the two. In the magazine owned by Disney, ABC's parent company, Mrs. Clinton admitted she knew her husband had been unfaithful, but thought he had changed after the Gennifer Flowers affair. She says, "I thought this was resolved 10 years ago. I thought he had conquered it. I thought he understood it. But he didn't go deep enough or work hard enough." Political pundits are already asking, is frank talk smart strategy for someone eyeing a Senate seat?
She knew she was going to have to address more directly this issue of the president's behavior, and she's chosen to do it in an extended interview. I think she hopes that now she will not have to do it on the fly at news conferences.
Others argue the revelations are too much, too late.
I can't imagine that it is a good strategy because it resurrects all of these issues that people have wanted to put to bed. She's trying to establish herself on the issues as a candidate for senator. Anything that simply puts her back in the Monica Lewinsky world, I think hurts a campaign.
When asked if her marriage could withstand a Senate bid, the First Lady replied, "The president is responsible for his own behavior, whether I'm there or 100 miles away." As to why Mrs. Clinton stays with her husband, she says, quote, "There has been enormous pain, enormous anger, but I have been with him half my life, and he is a very, very good man." Carla Davis, ABC News, Washington.
The White House today said the article paints a portrait of Mrs. Clinton that is quite positive, and it speaks for itself. And we have late word that Monica Lewinsky has been hospitalized tonight in Ventura, California. The Highway Patrol says Lewinsky was involved in a traffic accident. Police say she suffered minor injuries. Tomorrow on Good Morning America, Diane Sawyer sits down for an exclusive interview with Talk editor Tina Brown and Lucinda Franks, the writer who interviewed Mrs. Clinton. In Atlanta, the grieving continued today. Lee Ann Barton, the first victim in last week's shooting rampage, which left 13 dead, was buried today. Here's ABC's Steve Osunsami.
In tears under the Georgia heat this Sunday afternoon, mourners came to bury Lee Ann Barton, the killer's 27-year-old wife. A few hours away, another ceremony, the wake for her 2 stepchildren, Shelley, Matthew, killed by their own father with a hammer.
I think the whole state of Georgia is upset about it.
July was a deadly month in the state capitol. 23 people dead in 3 separate incidents. 3 weeks ago, a stepfather killed 7 people, then himself. Last weekend, an all-night standoff claimed the lives of the gunman and 2 officers. And on Thursday, what would become the deadliest mass killing in the state's history.
I don't know that there is any explanation for it. We'll simply have to search our souls and try to find ways of making our society stronger in the future.
Across Georgia this weekend, the sound of grief. An Islamic service for Dean Delawala, one of the day traders. 2,000 people attended.
Take my heart, 'cause I know that it will. 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 'Cause I know that it will
And about a mile from the office building where the 9 people died Thursday, Sunday worship at Peachtree Road United Methodist.
We were living happily along and taking things for granted until terror and death hit at random.
This week, the church will hold a memorial service for those killed in the 2 offices. Steve Osunsami, ABC News, Atlanta.
The shootings in Atlanta have revitalized calls for gun control. A House bill containing gun control measures was defeated last month. But as ABC's Tim O'Brien reports, there is still a chance that new gun controls could become law.
At most gun shows, like this one today in Kansas City, unlicensed dealers can legally sell guns to anyone without any background check, a loophole in federal gun laws. Background checks might not have prevented Thursday's shooting spree in Atlanta or that massacre at Columbine High School in Colorado last April. But both incidents have focused attention on that loophole and put pressure on Congress to close it.
How much is required? What else has to happen to convince the Republican leadership in the Congress of a need for some effective gun control?
I happen to believe that closing the gun show loophole can stop some criminals from getting guns.
Republicans have opposed the idea until Friday, one day after the rampage in Atlanta. Even they went on record supporting it as part of a larger juvenile justice bill.
As a realistic possibility that we can work out language in conference that will allow this bill to pass and that can satisfy some of the requests of those who want more controls.
Opponents say there are enough controls already.
The laws are already there. If they enforce the laws that are in existence now, we wouldn't have the problems.
Members of the House and Senate hope to agree on a compromise later this week that would close the gun show loophole. New polls show most Americans want even stronger gun laws than Congress is now considering. Tim O'Brien, ABC News at the Capitol.
The heat wave has broken in some parts of the nation, but its effects are still being felt. In Chicago, the death toll from heat-related causes climbed to 73 as more autopsies were performed. Nationwide, the heat has claimed at least 182 lives. And the cooling system that brought relief has also been deadly. 4 people in Ohio and upper Wisconsin were killed by falling trees when thunderstorms swept through the region. Still ahead on World News Tonight Sunday, moving off welfare and into the job force. A disturbing trend in the nation's prison population. And the world's oldest twins and what they mean for Japan.
This is World News Tonight, Sunday. Brought to you by Calcium-Rich Tums.
Gee, that oatmeal was little.
Yeah.
Done with those sausages? I'm done with them hash browns?
Sure.
You need some help with that bacon? How did I get heartburn? All I had was oatmeal. Got any Mylanta?
Are you kidding? Aluminum and magnesium? You want Tums. Tums has calcium.
Tums Calcium knocks out heartburn fast, then goes to your bones to help keep them stronger, longer.
How about a bag of donuts for the road?
How about a bottle of Tums?
Nancy will have to see from near to far almost 1,000 times today. Her eyes will focus on 40 labels, 60 charts, and 100 smiles. And in all that time, she'll never once think about the science that allows her to focus instantly at all distances. Nancy just knows that her Verilux lenses help her see better. And for her, that's a very comforting thought. Verilux, the comfort of better vision. For more information, call toll-free 1-800-VERILUX.
Mornings, well, that's my time to be dad. By the time I get home at night, my kids are asleep. And breakfast? Hey, I can do that on my way out the door. The hard part, though, well, the hard part's getting that far.
Buy yourself some time with Kellogg's Nutri-Grain bars. Good food to go.
Let me out, come on. Okay, bye-bye.
New statistics are out today on the millions of Americans making the switch from welfare to work programs. The numbers are being called a success by the White House. But as ABC's Andrea McCarran reports, not everyone agrees.
Bye-bye. After 6 years on welfare, Janet Russell is now working to support her 4 children. She's one of an estimated 1.5 million Americans who have traded welfare checks for paychecks in the last 3 years.
it's comparable to a drug. If you decide you're not going to do drugs no more, you don't do them. Decide not to be on public assistance no more, then you just don't do it.
According to new statistics released today, Oregon, Montana, Wisconsin, Iowa, and Wyoming showed the highest employment rates for welfare recipients. More than 55% worked at least 20 hours a week. Maryland, North Carolina, New Mexico, Pennsylvania, and Arkansas reported the lowest rates, fewer than 20% going from welfare to work.
We need to make sure that work pays better than welfare. That's why we're fighting hard to raise the minimum wage and hold on to the Earned Income Tax Credit, which boosts people's paychecks.
More people may be off welfare, but critics argue many are forced to find help elsewhere.
We have put too much emphasis on caseload reduction, and we are finding that some families are actually losing ground, losing income as a result.
Donna Williams has a job, but has to rely on food banks and charities just to get by.
Making minimum wage, $5.15 an hour, just isn't enough for someone to survive on with 2 children.
This week, President Clinton will call on business leaders to hire even more people from the welfare rolls. He will also push Congress for more money for child care, so those who make it from welfare to work can stay there. Andrea McCarran, ABC News, the White House.
In news overseas now, new tensions in Kosovo. A bomb ripped through a Serbian Orthodox church under construction in Pristina. No one was injured, but the violence undermines efforts to convince the Serb minority that Western peacekeepers can protect them. In Japan, a growing challenge faces the country: aging. The world's oldest twins celebrated a landmark birthday there today. And as Mark Litke reports, balancing care for the elderly with the needs of a struggling economy is proving difficult.
107-year-old twins Kim and Gin symbolize one of Japan's greatest achievements, the longest life expectancy in the world. But they are also at the heart of why Japan is still struggling to repair its economy. It's being called Japan's aging time bomb. Simply put, the population of people over 65 here is skyrocketing. While the world has been pushing Japan to lower taxes and increase spending to help lead Asia out of its financial crisis, Japan actually needs more tax revenues and more savings to pay for the rising cost of elderly pensions and medical care. 18% of national income is already spent on health and welfare benefits here, but at least twice that amount will be needed soon, and the country cannot afford it. Adding to the age problem, the birth rate here is so low, the population will soon start to shrink. That means fewer people to pay taxes, just as more elderly are demanding benefits. Japan's next generation is already facing a bill it cannot possibly pay. The long-term solution is to launch another baby boom, and some local governments here are now offering cash incentives for childbirth, up to $1,000 per child. But it hasn't turned the tide yet. Japanese are already bracing for the inevitable, something familiar to Americans: higher taxes and fewer old age benefits. The grain of Japan is no longer the cause for celebration that it used to be. Mark Litke, ABC News, Tokyo.
Coming up, what some are calling the new dumping ground for the nation's mentally ill population.
Out here, am I supposed to say, slow down, I'm constipated? I don't think so. So I rely on doctor-recommended Metamucil. Works with my body, gently, which is important to a sensitive guy like myself.
This is how hundreds of thousands of smokers have quit. It's the gradual step-down method, and you get it only from Nicoderm CQ. Store brand patches have only one step. You can't step down your dose. Nicoderm CQ has 3. You step down gradually, and gradual is the method doctors prefer. Quitting's important. Choose carefully. Nicoderm CQ. The power to calm, the power to comfort, the power to help you quit.
I should have used Preparation H. Cool it fast. Introducing Preparation H Cooling Gel. Cools on contact for fast relief. New Preparation H Cooling Gel cools on contact.
When you were a kid, did you carry a lunchbox? Who was on it? Was it Sir Isaac Newton? Was it Abraham Lincoln? Or was it the A-Team? Introducing the new, redesigned 2000 Mitsubishi Montero Sport. We pity the fool who'd drive anything else.
Try new Genuine Bear Gel Caps, the only gel cap that can help save your life. New Bear Gel Caps, powerful pain relief, and so much more.
Tonight, in part 2 of our series, Behind Bars, a profound shift in America's prison population. There are about 60,000 severely mentally ill patients in the nation's public psychiatric hospitals today. But over 4 times as many mentally ill people, nearly 284,000, are incarcerated. It is a trend with profound implications for a system designed to punish. As ABC's Jamie Floyd reports, behind bars in America's prisons and jails, caring for the mentally ill is a growing problem.
Rikers Island inmate James DeMarco was sentenced this past week to 6 years for attempted burglary. He was diagnosed with schizophrenia as a teenager.
Release, arrest, incarceration, over and over and over again. That's what his life has been. When he's not in prison or in hospital, he's trying to exist on the streets. And that's where he gets in trouble.
DeMarco is like thousands of other prisoners, spending a lifetime in and out of the system due to mental illness. The trend began with the wholesale closing of public mental hospitals in the 1960s. Today, there are far more mentally ill in the nation's jails and prisons than in hospitals. According to a recent study by the Department of Justice, at least 16% of the inmate population is mentally ill. That's 3 times the percentage in the rest of the country. There are now more than 250,000 people with mental illnesses in prisons and jails unprepared to handle them.
They may be kept in 4-point restraints for long periods of time. They may be stripped of all clothing because they're viewed as a suicide risk. These are environments that are not only not therapeutic, they're almost guaranteed to worsen the symptoms that these people are experiencing.
For 9 years, Congressman Ted Strickland was a psychologist at Ohio's only maximum security prison.
I saw individuals, young inmates, who were so disturbed that they would puncture their eyes. One inmate stuck a pencil into his abdomen until it disappeared.
He's sponsoring a bill to divert mentally ill defendants from jail to treatment.
Prisons were not meant to be mental health treatment facilities, and we ought not to be using them for that purpose.
In 1997, the Justice Department ordered the L.A. County Jail to improve its treatment of the mentally ill. The result? A brand new facility that screens and treats thousands of mentally ill patients. But even the best jail may not be the best place to treat these patients.
The county jail was not built to deliver mental health services. I mean, it's not. That was always been the proper response of, medical institutions and mental institutions that handle those issues. Well, now it's been foisted on the Sheriff's Department.
Until the system provides treatment for the mentally ill, experts say the cycle of release and arrest will continue. Jamie Floyd, ABC News, New York.
For more about mental illness in America's prisons, go to our website at abcnews.com. Still ahead, Mark McGuire's not the only one gunning for a record this summer.
Opening arguments start at 9:30 whether this arthritis pain goes away or not. So I took Advil liquid gels. Nothing's been proven stronger on arthritis pain. They're the only pain reliever with liquid inside. Advil liquid gels, stronger than pain.
It's barbecue season, the busiest time of the year for your deck, which is why you should protect it with Thompson's Wood Protector. Nothing we make works harder, longer. For rain, sun, mildew, or low-flying meat, Thompson's Wood Protector, it never takes a day off.
My feet are killing me.
You need new Podiasin Soak and Massage Gel. Only Podiasin dissolves in water for instant pain relief, then rubs into open pores for deep, lasting relief.
The pain is gone.
New Podiasin Soak and Massage Gel.
summer. Time to get busy with Red Lobster's 30 shrimp dinner for $9.99. 2 choices, 30 shrimp, $9.99. Escape to Red Lobster.
Mom, did that file open yet?
No. Buy your kids a Gateway PC and you'll never have an old computer because you can trade it in toward the purchase of a new one after 2 years. Get a Gateway Learning PC with an Intel Celeron processor and $500 worth of educational software included for $39 a month. Call 1-800-GATEWAY.
Have you tried these yet? Specialized blends from One A Day. Not just herbs. Herbs, vitamins, and minerals for things like memory. Have you seen my keys? Where are the keys? 83. And energy. Excuse me. Excuse me. Even tension and mood. Help your body help itself with One A Day specialized blends. They're just what you need to feel your best.
In sports this Sunday, baseball's race towards summer milestones. And some key NBA news from the Utah Jazz. We get the latest from Kenny Mayne at ESPN Sports Center. Kenny?
Carol, Karl Malone has signed a 4-year contract worth $67 million. He'll finish his great career in Utah. Now, besides the money, he got a clause allowing him to ride his motorcycles. His drive, of course, remains to win his first ever NBA title. In baseball, his Jays won, but Sean Green had his hitting streak stopped today at 28 games. If not for Detroit's Gabe Kapler, Green, of course, would be at 29 in a row. Mark McGwire cranked his 40th home run of the season for St. Louis. At the time, this tied Sammy Sosa of the Cubs for the Major League lead. McGwire 3 shy of 500 career home runs. Last summer, both McGwire and Sosa did the improbable and surpassed the record of 61 home runs in a season. It captivated the country and gave Major League Baseball a lift. And this summer brings more of the same, aside from McGwire and Sosa. Bill Pito tells this story.
The careers of Tampa Bay Devil Ray Wade Boggs and San Diego Padre Tony Gwynn have paralleled each other for so many years. It's only fitting that their chase for 3,000 hits comes in the same season. They are the two best pure hitters still playing. Gwynn holds 8 National League batting titles while Boggs has 5 in the American League. It would only be appropriate if they reached 3,000 on the same day. Baseball's Iron Man Cal Ripken Jr. isn't far behind. If the Baltimore Oriole third baseman also reaches 3,000 this year, it'll be the first time 3 players have done it in the same season. Sammy Sosa hasn't hit 20 home runs in a month as he did last June, but he's ahead of the pace that saw him hit 66 out of the park last season. Is Mark McGwire's record of 70 out of reach? The Cubs play more than half of their remaining games in the homer-friendly confines of Wrigley Field. Mark McGwire continues to put a jolt in every venue, but not for his assault on a single-season home run record. This summer, it's the number 500. That's the mythical home run figure, like 3,000 hits, that guarantees admission into baseball's Hall of Fame.
Bill Pito there. Carol, that's your Sunday Sports in Brief.
Thank you. ESPN's Kenny Mayne. Still ahead, internet entrepreneurs who are spreading the wealth.
You already know how important calcium is for your bones, but did you know that 85% of women still don't get enough? So start your day with Total. It's the only leading cereal that's an excellent source of calcium, even before adding milk. In fact, Total has more calcium than the milk itself. No other leading cereal comes close. Simple, low-fat, delicious. So good, you can feel it in your bones. Total Raisin Bran, Total Corn Flakes. One bowl, one great source of calcium.
It's here. The GMC Summer Convoy. 2 million tons of professional-grade trucks designed better than they need to be. Pickups, SUVs, and family vans. And on select 1999 models, some of the best values of the year. So come in now. This is one convoy you don't want passing you by. The GMC Summer Convoy.
You won't believe your mouth with this antacid.
That's amazing.
Dissolved almost immediately.
Like, it's gone.
Introducing Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables, a whole new kind of calcium antacid for heartburn.
It dissolves quickly when you put it in your mouth.
Very quick.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewables dissolve faster and more completely than Tums.
Didn't have to dig it out of my teeth. No grit. It's gone.
New Maalox Quick Dissolve Chewable Tablets. Quick dissolve your heartburn away.
Quick dissolve. Maalox.
From 1 Minute Maalox.
On 2020 tonight, pile-ups. They're terrifying, but you can survive. Find out how on 2020 tonight at 9, 8 Central.
Now checking in at the nation's box office, Runaway Bride is the #1 movie this weekend. The low-budget surprise hit Blair Witch Project leaped from 17th place to the #2 spot. #3, Deep Blue Sea. Finally tonight, giving is getting a lot of attention. The Gates Foundation said today that a report that the billionaire Bill Gates would give away most of his fortune was exaggerated. But the Microsoft chairman is giving, and among those who make their fortunes in cyberspace, he's not alone. Here's ABC's Deborah Wong.
Trish Malines was 39 years old when she became a multi-millionaire.
Stock options. That made that possible. Landing at the right place at the right time.
With total financial security, she left her job at Microsoft and used some of her money to do what she's always wanted to do, help minority kids learn how to program computers.
I personally feel I have a responsibility to share that money in some way, shape, or form.
Paul Brainerd made $120 million from the sale of his software company. Now he, too, is devoting his life to giving a huge chunk of his fortune away.
This work is like getting a big hug. Literally, I've had people come up to me and put their arms around me and say, "Thank you, Paul, for the work you've enabled in this community."
These young philanthropists run their charities in the same hands-on, aggressive way that they run their businesses. Calling themselves venture philanthropists, they're not just giving away money, they're making what they call social investments, and they're demanding results.
Anybody want to throw something out?
In Seattle, they brainstorm ways to lend their business and technical expertise to the charities they support.
I just didn't want to write a check to someone and just say, "See you later, hope it works out."
And they are setting an entirely new agenda, focusing much of their efforts on high-tech education, the secret of their own success, and on causes that matter to their generation. Microsoft co-founder Paul Allen is spending $100 million building a museum to rock and roll.
Roll it.
Now, even once obscure charities are finding funding where little existed before. This preschool for low-income families was desperate for funds to expand when it got an unexpected gift from Paul Allen's foundation.
I cried. It's pretty incredible. After all the work we've done for years, and then with one stroke of his pen, it's taken care of.
With so many years of giving ahead of them, this new generation of millionaires might just live to see their generosity pay off. Deborah Wong, ABC News, Seattle.
And that's our report. Watch 2020 later. And tomorrow on Good Morning America, Talk Magazine editor Tina Brown. I'm Carol Simpson. For all of us here at ABC News, have a good week and good night.
Monday, a hot new development in genetic engineering. Could it mean disaster for some farmers? How will it affect you? Watch ABC's World News Tonight with Peter Jennings.
Duval, Woods, live Monday night at 8 on ABC.